Good morning. How's everybody doing this fine day? Um, we're going to be talking about living in the past. Now, I think for me, Joe Dispenza, as per usual, he really describes this well, where this is your present moment, this is your past, and this is your projected future. And what we've all done, unless you're very enlightened already, is we think about the past and we take our experiences and we project it into the future. And we do that with work situations, with relationship situations, with our own personal goals that maybe we've not achieved the way we wanted to. So, and then we make stories up around what we perceive we are. And, it's like a computer. The What's in your hard drive. We've got this phenomenal updated software that we can use. But unfortunately, we drop back into the past and the experiences there. And that can keep us going round in that hamster's wheel where we don't really seem to be getting anywhere. So it is now time to see the past for what it is. And I think remembering that our memories are not that great. We've picked things up along the way that may or may not be accurate. So there's absolutely no point in hanging on to it because you don't even know if it's true. You don't even know if it happened that way, especially if you're not a great communicator. You probably picked something up, made a story about it. I include myself in this. We all do it. We make the story up, even when we've been at the doctor or a specialist or an oncologist, etc. We've picked up information that's maybe scared us or made us very uncomfortable, and we're too scared to actually communicate it out to find out what it really means. Because what really does it mean? Because in this subjective universe that we are now living in, we are realizing that we can take information and we can understand it the way we want to. And how that works, if you have a hostile perception where everything's a problem and you're going on about the Israelis and the Palestinians, which is quite relevant, if you've got a very hard and fast story about that based on basically what we're seeing in the internet and in the press, etc., we can create an awful lot of toxicity and change our pH in the body, and there's nothing we can do about it. And I loved what Nicola Harkin said to me. You'll meet Nicola tomorrow if you've not met her, at the Goddess Gathering in Aberdeen. She said, before we didn't know what was happening in other countries. Therefore, we could focus on what was happening in our own communities. And, much as it's very important to understand with this global economy what these nut jobs are doing out there, we also have to be very aware of what we can affect and change and how we can stay well within the turbulence that is going on planetary wise and planet wise, because we can't forget that we're part of this whole. We're living in this phenomenal unified field. This is physics. This is not hippie stuff. This is quantum physics. We are energy beings living in an energy mass. Now, that's simplifying it right down. But when you start to see the body as more energy and start to be aware of how it feels, the information that's coming through us, and whether that information is relevant or whether it's getting filtered through, especially if it's getting filtered through a painful past, and then we project that through. So if it's been painful in the past and it's getting filtered through pain, it's getting projected as pain out into the field. And our challenge now, I believe and perceive, is for us to acknowledge the pain. We have to, for the body's sake, because this is a big part of what I do with my clients, is acknowledge the pain. Don't ignore it or deny it or push it down or drink it away or smoke it away or drug it away, whatever we do, shop it away, gamble it away, the distraction from what we are experiencing, which is fun and normal. But really now we're like, all right, okay, we better get in here and put the bin out. So when we perceive the pain from the past and we filter it through pain and we project it out, guess what we get? More of the same. And I'm sure you'll have experienced that in relationships. Why do I keep attracting lunatics, narcissists? Because we don't attract what we want, we attract what we feel, what we vibrate, and that's in the subconscious. And you will not, trust me, you don't know it's there. The more you learn about this stuff, the more you realize what you're carrying vibrationally and how that's impacting on your levels of health and happiness. But maybe most importantly, from the Heal Scotland perspective, how that's affecting your immune system. Okay, so let's start with the 4-7-8 breath. So breathing in and hold, tongue in the gum and out. And in, hold and out. And in, hold and out. And in, hold and out. Okay. You can probably feel your change in chemistry already. So, what is it that you're repeating from what you've perceived has happened in the past? Do you keep thinking, the stinking thinking? Thinking the same old unhelpful thoughts? Are you feeling, that you're less, that you're not enough, inferior, sad? Are you feeling the same old feelings that are not making you feel fantastic? Are you ruminating round stories about what the apparent others seem to have done to you? And that can be in your family, in your friend group, and in your workplace. What are you thinking about the apparent others? Have you made up a story and fixed it in place? Because what we do, don't ask me why we do this, but maybe somebody's been close to you and really helpful to you your entire life, or certainly for a long time, and they do one thing and you cut them out. And because that story is so big and you've taken it so seriously because of how you've been feeling, because in this work, we take full responsibility for how we are feeling and how we are reacting. So that one thing, and then they get pushed out of your life because we don't have the courage, the patience, the emotional intelligence to confront. And I mean that it doesn't need to be done in an angry, aggressive way. It can be like, this is how I felt when this happened. So instead of resolving and dissolving that reaction, we drag it around, dragging the past around. Now, that's not to belittle the trauma and the abuse that some people have experienced. That's not what I'm talking about. That deserves attention. And again, in this massive shift in consciousness that we're in, you might find stuff coming up. I know that's been happening for me, memories. I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? Whoa. Yeah, it's, we've all done things in the past that we're maybe not particularly proud of, that we regret, that we would do differently with the benefit of time and wisdom. And there has to be an acknowledgement of that. And again, that's part of the 12-step program, which, as you probably know, when I read, I thought we should really all probably be doing this to resolve all the inner conflicts. If you're coming to the festival, you'll get to meet Gary. Either of the festivals, he's going to be at both of them. Gary Ferguson with the Combat Journal and the power again of just writing and really getting into, yeah, that happened. How did it make me feel? So real kind of creative and gratuitous writing to get everything out of this body. The things that perhaps we've been trying to ignore and dismiss. So it can be done through art, it can be done through writing, it can be done through movement, it can be done through singing, it can be done through dancing. All the things that we've belittled at school. And again, that's not the teacher's fault of it. It's just, I don't even know if it's deliberate or just stupidity. But all our forms of expression, none of these things are taking precedence. They try and store more and more facts, and we judge humans on how many facts they can recall. It's bonkers. We are these energetic, creative beings that can 100% express. And if you don't express, and that's not like over express, we're not talking about drama here. We're talking about emotional intelligence where you can communicate with people cleanly and clearly and resolve the conflicts properly. That's what we do. That's how we do it. And that's how we keep our precious, vital life force, our chi. That's how we keep it for our healing and our health and well being. Because if you only have 24 hours in the day, and if you only have 20% of your energy, because remember, 80% goes in digesting your food, then you are going to need all of that 20% to filter all the crap that goes into the body advertently and inadvertently. Maybe you're putting on chemicals into the skin, maybe you're putting chemicals into the mouth, maybe you're watching a lot of garbage online on the propaganda machine that is the government news. Maybe you are, just living somewhere where you're not getting a lot of fresh air in cities, high rises. Maybe your job does not allow you to be outside more. And I have to say, looking after Nikki's dog has really, really helped me this winter. Having to take her out because she's a big horse, she needs exercise. And so if you know somebody that's not well that has a dog that needs walked, it's the best of both worlds. You walk the dog and take a little bit of responsibility until they're well enough, or not, they have time, because it's not always about illness, it's also about being really busy at work, having a young family, etc. So trust me, the dog has really got me out into the natural light, and it's got me walking and into nature. So I highly recommend that as a way. So how do we move out the past and just unhook from the past? So like all these things that we really felt were so important, and how do we let them go? Because we're focusing, I've seen this in my own life and own relationships recently. People really sweating the small stuff that I do not understand, because I'm big picture. And so when you see people fretting about stuff that really doesn't matter, I always remember saying to Joanna when she was dying, she was furious that her partner had left a cup on the floor when he went out to work. And she was like, and then we started laughing and we thought, does that even matter? Really, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of the times the stuff we're stressing over is meaningless and is just not worth your precious energy. And it's certainly not worth depressing your immune system and your integrity into how you feel with your cells and to some apparent other. So how do we do that? Well, if you've been joining me over this month, breath work, as you know, one of my favourite things, just don't even go into the story, just breathe. You'll change your own chemistry and things will automatically be released. But sometimes there's things that we want to hang on to. Remember, word like this, no, I'm not letting that go, because you want to justify your reactions. You want to be right. You want that other person to feel the way that you felt. Remember, who's holding the burning coal? We need to just let go, because as soon as we do that, we experience that internal relief and that peace. And let karma, because that's the thing. Everybody's got their judgment day, I believe. And if you believe that, then it's much easier to allow the universe, God, whoever, whatever, to deal with the betrayals, the hurts, and the negative behaviour. You can take the rest of your life off wanting to see them pay for what they've done to you, because there are people that have done terrible things. We may be the people that have really hurt other people. We have to all be accountable at the end of the day for that, because this body holds a score. And this body knows when we've done things that are out of alignment with, yeah, with source. Let's just use that word for now. So it can start with your words. If they did this, you might find yourself taking somebody else down. Very common 3D behaviour. And often people are taking other people down to make themselves feel better. So that starts with your language. They did this to me. That you can turn that into a question. What would it take for me to let go of blaming, shaming, and complaining? How do I unravel from the past and the belief that I'm a victim in this? So you're starting to look at, how can you let go of blaming, shaming, and complaining? As soon as you go into blame, the cells contract. And as soon as you go into, okay, let the universe deal with that, and I will move merrily on my way. So changing that negative, finger pointing statement into a question. What would it take for me to let go of the hurt that was caused by the behaviour? Okay. Then also you can say, they did that to me. Is that true? Question your thoughts. Is it true? How's it making me feel when I choose to believe that thought? And who would I be without that thought? So that ruminating. So they did it to me becomes, they did it to themselves. I did it to them. And I did it to me. And you just sit, you can turn that around a few times and just sit with that until you start to realise who is hurting who. That moment in time has passed, and it's now just in here, energy, and you can use the power of your will to say, no, no more living in there rent free. I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to turn it into a question. I'm going to tap. Even although, let's just do that, even although it feels like they did it to me, and even although I've been hanging on to this, and even although I want them to pay, and even although I want to be right, and even although I'm justifying my feelings and my thoughts and my behaviours, and even although it makes me so mad, sad, angry, resentful, I deeply and completely love, trust, and accept myself. Even although I've been feeling like a victim, and I've been feeling like I want some kind of a revenge. Even although my ego's been screaming, they did it. They should not have done it. Come on, let it go. I deeply and completely love, trust, and accept myself. And I'm now open to letting this go. I'm letting myself off the hook. I'm releasing all judgment and pain, and I'm setting myself free. I allow myself to be at peace. I am free. I have the power to let go. Deep breath. Ooh. Wiggle your eyes around like that. Let it all go. Okay. So that's 3 ways you've got. Turn the negative statement into a question. What would it take? How does it get better? Where would I be if I no longer believed they had power over me? And then, is it true? Questioning what you're believing. And then tap. Run it through all of these things until you can feel in your cells that cellular tensegrity, which just means you're in tune. Your brain frequencies, your brain waves are in tune, your cells are in tune, your heart and brain are in coherence, and it's all beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hanging out. Okay, and then we go into the Sedona method. So, how are you feeling in this moment? What energy is there? And if you have a situation that is driving you mad right now, or a person who is driving you mad because you're allowing it, then I want you to just, first of all, get in touch with the body and see what's there. What can you feel? The body is giving you information. Oh, what's it saying? And then you're going to deliberately bring that really irritating person, or that person that's hurt you, or that you've hurt, or whatever, into your mind's eye. And then I want you to really pay attention to what the body says when you remember your version of events. Bring in the situation or the person from the past, or your projection into the future, and feel, what's the body saying? What's the body saying? And just for now, as best you can you just observe all the sights, sounds, and sensations that are there in this moment? And can you welcome it completely? Embrace the energy and then just let it go. And can you welcome all wanting control, security, approval, separation, and oneness? Can you welcome that completely and just let it go? And can you welcome all feeling that it's personal, that anything's personal? you're a poor wee victim in any of this. Welcome all taking it personally and just let it go. And welcome all trying to figure it out. What? Why? Where? When? Welcome all of that and just let it go. And welcome all feeling of waiting for things to change so that you can be happy. Welcome all of that and just let it go. And welcome all wishing they or the situation was different. Welcome all of that and just let it go. Okay. And how does that feel? Now, the mind can be stubborn and really not want to let go. Know that that's completely common and normal. So, your task then is to override that. Remember that you absolutely have control. So, it's up to you. Even if you're like, well, it's deep, it's whatever stories you're making up about it. Understand that you can override anything with this thing that you have called free will. Now, whether you choose to or not, that's up to you. It takes courage to look at it and to go, right, enough. I'm going to set my cells so that from this to this, so the information can flow, the chi can flow, the past can get out, and we can feel vibrant and amazing. I think that's the sun coming out. Can you see the light in my face? So I'm going to take the dog out and get some light and fresh air and cold. Have a wonderful day, and I'll chat to you tomorrow. Ciao.